Hey everyone, Assalamualaikum. I'm Aiza Software Wali and welcome to today's special interview. It was a great honor to have Mr. Robert Thorn with us, and thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your valuable time and experiences. We're excited to learn about your journey, education, leadership, and your vision for helping students becoming lifelong learners. So let's get started without any wasting time to start our interview with Sir. First of all, thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. So, can you
You're
please
welcome.
introduce yourself to my audience?
Oh, well, yes. So a very long time ago, I was from Britain. So I have to say Britain because my mother's Scottish, my father's English. And then my goal in life was to leave Britain. And anyway, so by the age of 10, I had emigrated to Canada twice and come back to Britain. And then we moved a lot. And so I had moving in my blood. And I became a teacher. And then I did 1 year in Britain. And then I think since from then, from the age of 28, 26, until now, and I'm 63, I've averaged 2.5 years in each place I've been. So on average, I've been to many countries, many schools, many different education systems. And I started off as a science teacher and now I'm a principal of a school. So, and something has always bothered me about education. There's something very wrong with it. And I think maybe I found out what it is. So, how about that?
Oh, thank you so much, sir. So, can you please tell me what inspired you to become an educator?
An agitator. Oh, well, okay. Well, it's a very funny thing because when I was at school, I learned about. I went to quite a good school, and I had good teachers, and yet I saw a television program once, and it was a Japanese version of an old Chinese story, and it really interested me. And I went to the library and I found all these books on China. I found books on the religions of old China, and I found Chinese language, and I found records about Chinese. There were about two records of Chinese songs, and I was just really fascinated because my school had never taught me about that. And then I realized the school had never taught me about Japan. The school had never taught me about India. The school had never taught me about Arabic speaking countries and the Muslim world. It never taught me about those places. And so I suddenly became very, very interested in all these things. And all my grades in history and geography went down. And then the other thing, I wanted to escape and to travel the world. So I became a teacher. And because I had done science, I became a science teacher. And so being a science teacher helped me when I'm teaching children who don't speak English very well. You have to teach the English with the science. And so science became the context in which I taught English. So that gave me an idea. Maybe I could use my subject as a context to do other things. So once they'd learned English, we could start to help them become good learners for life within the context of the subject. So I'm a science teacher, and kids would come to me and say, "Oh, Mr. Robert, we don't like science. You're our new teacher, but we don't like science, just to warn you. We hate it." And I say, "Okay, well, let's just do some things." And we'd get on with class. And in the end, after a few weeks or months, they'd say, "Mr. Robert, we love your lessons." And I'd say, "Great, so you love science?" And they say, "No, no, no, we don't like science, but we love your lessons." So I'm thinking, why is that? And then they say to me, "Well, we've become more confident as learners. We've learned to work together. We've learned to communicate. We've learned to look for patterns. We've learned to think in different ways. We've learned to learn from our mistakes through these lessons of yours. Now, that took many years, of course, to come out, but that's the very short story of it. And I began to understand that school can be for every student, and every lesson can be for every student if every student understands that they're coming to the lesson to develop themselves as a learner for life. Okay, we're all lifelong learners. You can't escape that. But to be a learner for life is someone who can change the way they learn and can learn to develop themselves as a learner. And so you can go to, like, if you don't like maths, you can go to a maths lesson, but still learn a lot from it to become a better learner. And then you begin to be able to be better at maths or science, and then you pass it. So even if you don't like a subject, you can still pass it. So I found a lot of my kids went from failing subjects to passing them. And when you pass a subject, it means it doesn't hold you back. Yeah, some universities, they need you to study this or that or something else. So it turned into a different approach to education. And that's what we need, I think.
Oh yeah, I also like science, but I have many interest in software because I joined IT field. You know Rehan Wala. I'm a student of Rehan Wala.
Okay, all right.
Okay. So, can you please tell me, like, what does education mean to you?
Agitation. Oh, I see. Right. Okay. Well, we know. So the things that I've learned from many people. There are a lot of people, and some of them from hundreds of years ago, some of them maybe 1,000 years ago. There were educators who educated in a better way than we do now. Uh, and so these ideas aren't new, but putting them together to work in schools, to change our approach to education within schools is something we can all do. And if everybody changed their approach to education in the way I'm saying, all schools, whether it's under a small tree in someone's garden, or whether it's in some big fancy school in a rich country, all schools could do much better for their students if they change their approach to education. So the problem why this hasn't happened is because everybody's in their comfort zone. Everybody doesn't, well, I don't really want to change the way I do this. This is the way I was taught, and so I'm going to teach like that. Or it's difficult to get my head around a new idea. If I give more responsibility to young people, maybe they'll take over and they'll get things wrong, and they're too young to trust with responsibility. I think your school is one that's got this right by the looks of things. So people are in this comfort zone. So an agitator is someone who moves them, someone who vibrates them, someone who moves them slightly out of their comfort zone and shows them that it's okay to take the first step.
Oh, okay. So, uh, can you please tell me, like, what like success mean to you?
I'm sorry, it's breaking up a little bit and you're
Yeah.
very quiet.
I'm again repeat. I'm saying that how did your teaching journey begin?
How am I teaching what?
Journey.
The video is breaking up a little bit. I heard, how am I teaching something?
Okay, yours like journey begin.
Uh-huh. How did my journey begin?
Yeah, teaching
Well,
journey.
I see. Well, I wanted to become a writer, and I wanted to travel the world writing, but you have to pay for yourself to travel the world. So I thought, well, what can I do? I can. My father said, "Look, I'll give you a little bit of money to go and study something more, would you like to become a policeman? And I said, no, I don't want to become a policeman. Because if you're a policeman, it's very hard to become an international policeman. You have to wait many years to do that. So I said, how about I become a teacher? Because then I could escape Britain. So that's where I started. I didn't really want to be a teacher, but as soon as I started teaching, all my creativity went into my teaching. And with the young people that I was teaching, getting them to be creative and us doing science, but also doing many other things as well. So I that's how it started.
Oh, okay. So, what do you enjoy most about working with students?
Mhm. Well, I really like surprising them because especially now I'm a bit older, so I go in and I talk with them, and then they suddenly realize I'm not afraid to let them be free. I'm not afraid that they might ask me a question. I'm not afraid that they might want to do something different. And I've achieved some really wonderful things, some things I think are really wonderful. Like, for example, uh, I've I've managed to get some of my classes in previous schools to ask me if they can have an exam because many of my classes, the kids, they say, well, oh, we don't really want to do an assessment. Let's just carry on learning. But I've managed to get them to actually say, we want to be tested. We want to have an assessment. We want to show how much we've learned, and we want to understand what we know and what we don't know. And the other thing was I've got kids to ask for homework. Can I do my homework on this? Yeah. And to choose their homework. And another thing, when I was sometimes late for class because I was like a vice principal, when I come to my class, they're all working on what we're supposed to be learning because they're excited about it. So it's about getting kids to surprise themselves in a way, giving them responsibility for their own learning, showing them that they don't need, for example, if they have a bad teacher, if they go to a school or they go to university and the teacher isn't very good, and there are many teachers who are not very good, that shouldn't stop them from being successful in that subject. If they go to a school that hasn't got the resources, that shouldn't stop them from being successful. Um, that really the answer lies within all of us, and we need to find it and bring it out. Right.
Oh, okay,
I
you're
can't.
right. So, tell me, what is learner development so important?
Mm. Okay, so most schools talk about learning, and even I think some of the best, even yeah, they talk about the goal being learning and how much children will learn and how our school gets kids to learn lots and they learn the right things and learn. But there's another thing, and and it's still about learning, but it's about learning about yourself and how you can develop yourself. And so I, uh, I look at success as, yeah, the kids learn things, but they also develop themselves as a learner. So they learn to develop themselves as learners. So, for example, curiosity is one thing that some students say, well, she's curious, but I'm not. And I say, no, you're all curious. And we talk about it. And we find that that person who thinks they're not curious, they are curious, but in a different area. So why are you curious about that? And why are you not curious about this? And that person over there is curious about this, but not that. And then is curiosity something we can develop? Is it something we can nurture? Can you make it stronger? Can you direct it? So when you're curious about one thing, can you take that curiosity and then say, let me apply that to this over here? Okay. And suddenly it liberates the young person to realize that they can actually have control over themselves as a learner. Curiosity is just one of the things. There are many other ones.
Oh, okay. So, sir, your answer is very great. So, like, amazing. So, tell me, like, what does success mean to you, and what makes a great teacher?
What makes a great teacher? Okay. So someone who can relate to the students, first of all. First of all, the first thing I tell my new teachers is forget about what you're teaching. You can use it, of course, but don't worry about what you're teaching. Worry about getting a relationship with your students. Because when you have a good relationship with them, then you can take them sometimes, because learning and learner development is difficult sometimes. And sometimes you have to lead them in the way. So you need them to follow you. So the relationship is the most important thing. Then how do you engage people in learning? How do you engage people to do things so that students will come to the class, they know what they're doing, they get on with it. They almost don't need you. So the best teacher is the teacher that can make themselves redundant. So you may have to be a director to tell the kids what to do, but you may be a mentor and show kids what to do. The best place to start with is being the coach, to ask kids what they think, how they think they should do something. How do they think they should learn something? What do they think about this problem? And the best place to get to, though, is where you are just the critical friend of the student. The students are learning stuff on their own, they're developing. They come to you and say, hey, look at what I've just found. Look what I've just created. Look, I think your school probably does a lot of that.
Oh, amazing. So, like, what makes a great student, and how can students become lifelong learners?
Mm. Okay, well, all students are lifelong learners. You can't get away from it. I've just come away from seeing my 87-year-old mother who's just learned to use an iPad because she can. And she went downstairs and talked to all the old ladies in the place where she lives, and she learned all the gossip from them. So we're always learners. So I don't use the term lifelong learner that much, but to become a good learner for life is someone who knows themselves. So a good student or a good learner is someone who is open to knowing themselves, open to being honest with themselves, open to exploring and trying new things safely, of course. Um, and that person, when you know yourself, you know, well, maybe I need to develop this part of myself in order to solve these types of problems or to learn that in that situation. Okay, I know there are questions to ask. I can go online, I can ask my robot, my AI, what three next steps can I do in order to become more curious? All right. So, so it's someone who is willing to engage with the teacher or not. Maybe the teacher's not good, but engage with their own development, engage with understanding themselves. And there we are.
Oh, amazing. That's very good. So, like, what is the biggest challenging students face today, and how can students overcome fear of failures?
How can students overcome fear of failure? You've got to understand what it is you want in life. No, you don't have to understand what it is you want in life. What the it's not so much what you want in life, but putting all your effort into what you do. So trying to do your best at things. Somebody once said to me, okay, so a lot of young people, they are told, you have to find your passion in life. If you find your passion in life, then you can follow it. But a lot of young people, especially these days, they say, I don't know what my passion is in life. I don't know what it is I want to do. I don't know what I'm really interested in. And even if I do, maybe it will change next year. And one young coach once said to me, one of my students, he said, what you need to do, don't worry about your passion. The best thing is put your passion into everything you do as much as you can. You can't put 100% of effort into every single thing, but when you have something important, put your passion into it. Put your passion into your learning, put your passion into your development. And your real lifelong passion will come and find you. Okay? So that's what I think students should do. Yeah?
Yeah. So, tell me, like, what advice would you give to young learners?
Mm-hmm. That you have the answers. Don't be compliant. Don't wait for the teacher to give you everything. Don't think you're going to school to be given an education. Go to school and take your education. And if you can't take it from the school, take it from wherever you can find it. You are the person you're the person who's going to have the consequences of your education. The teacher gets paid every month. The teacher goes home. Yeah. The teacher retires. You never see them again. But your education is yours. That's the advice I'd give them.
Oh, thank you so much, sir, for giving me nice interview, and your answer is very really amazing and very excellent. So thank you so much, Mr. Robert Thorn, for sharing your valuable knowledge, inspiring experiences, and wonderful advice with us today. And your insights will motivate students, teachers, and parents around the world. We are truly appreciate your time and wish you continued success in all your future adventures. So thank you everyone to for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring interviews. See you in next episode. Thank you.